Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Empowered Whole Being TV Simulcast. I'm Candace Stewart Finley, founder of the Empowered Whole Being Foundation. And as an intuitive empath, I've been studying metaphysics and now quantum biology for, 12 years now? Quantum physics. I have the chat open here, and I'm just sending a little welcome message. And if you have any questions during the episode today, just reach out. Last week's episode, we talked about we just sort of were exploring the concept of the law of creation as opposed to the law of attraction, the difference of the energy. The law of attraction is, in my opinion, is a misnomer for the law of creation. And so I wanted to present that new perspective and begin the process of supporting a new understanding of how our energy is exchanging and working with the quantum field to create what we experience. So today, I wanted to talk about engaging with the law of creation a little bit. Just plant some seeds. And then I'm going to go work out. So, knowing that's the law of creation, that lends itself to a whole different perspective of what that engagement is about. It's not a passive, meaning you visualize and hope for whatever to occur. No, it's an active, empowered understanding and stance to engage consciously with the law of creation. It requires full ownership of that power of creation. And so therefore understanding how we as consciousness are interacting and dialoguing and communicating with the quantum field helps and supports a more clear understanding of how that engagement occurs. So first, let's talk about accountability and ownership. I've mentioned in previous simulcasts that our feelings are electromagnetic frequencies. Feelings are frequencies. And it's how we feel that determines the flavor of what we experience in our day-to-day life here in what I call the sim world, the physical world. So if you notice that your day-to-day seems like it's challenged and like you're being pushed back, or it's a struggle, that would indicate that unconsciously the primary energy being felt, therefore transmitted, would be what I call contraction energy. That's the feeling bad feelings that we talk about in our human terms. It's not a good or bad thing really, though. It's just a type of frequency, the fear-based energy. And there's a reason for that, and it's not, again, it's non-judgmental. It's not a good or bad thing to feel fearful. It's important to be aware of that so that you can shift your energy into the feeling good frequencies, which have a movement of counterclockwise spin. So here's the bottom line. The law of creation. Hey, Wendy. Nice to see you pop on. The law of creation is happening 24/7. That's the basis of our collective consciousness. Everything that we experienced is first felt, because the feeling experience happens, whether it's conscious or unconscious, happens first. And then the event is created in the sim world, the physical world. And so I love what Wendy's writing. Love you, Wendy. Keep doing the good work. So engaging first with the law of creation, first step is taking ownership of what it is being felt. And you will know, because if you just look at the so-called outside world, which is really not outside, there's no outside or inside. Everything's entangled, everything's connected. And when we understand that and know that whatever we're experiencing, our physical avatars experiencing, is merely a reflection of what was first felt, therefore transmitted into the quantum field, the sim world. And that's happening 24/7, whether we're aware of it or not. And like I said, the really cool thing is we can take a look at what's, does it seem like things are irritating us more, or does it seem like there's a flow? That'll tell you right away where your feeling focus is, therefore what your primary transmissions of creation or the flavor of them. So that's the first thing. It's just being willing to take ownership, because there is no outside or inside. There really is just a singularity of consciousness, and the individuation is the illusion that only is here in the physical world, which is why I call it the simulated world. And many quantum physicists refer to this as a holographic universe, like a hologram, simulation. So ownership, taking that accountability that whatever experiences we're having, they're really coming from our transmissions first. That may seem like a big step, but I can tell you right now that until that willingness to take that amount of ownership is accomplished, it's just sort of a loop. And I've been there. I know what that's like. And yes, exactly. Wendy's writing some cool stuff. So, and I've experienced that. And I just did, I've mentioned in the past the deeper work that I do, the core issue release work. It's, and I'm going to be writing about all of this in my next update of my book, laying out the whole mechanism of what the experience is for our consciousness when we create the avatar individuation, and what that's comprised of and how that functions. And so from looking at things from our avatar's point of view is quite different than perceiving them from our actual self, the singularity consciousness that we are. It's like on the other side of that two-way mirror. And when we are willing to, even if we are only thinking of it as intellectual, if we're willing to take to accept the possibility that we're already the singularity consciousness, whatever you want to call that, divine consciousness, quantum consciousness, whatever. If we're willing to take that, embrace that possibility, that's the first step. So these are the two things that are really necessary to effectively engage the law of creation with consciousness, with awareness of what it is you're creating. Ownership, that it's your feelings that are creating what you're experiencing. The end. There's nothing out there doing it to us. We are first transmitting it. Whether we're aware of it or not, doesn't matter. We're still transmitting it. Second part, being willing to embrace the possibility that we already are that singularity consciousness, that the duality paradigm and perception, inside, outside, us, them, separateness, everything being localized and compartmentalized, only exists here in the physical world, in the sim world. It doesn't exist outside of this holographic universe. And so that's the duality paradigm. The singularity paradigm, which is what's actually happening. And this is why I love quantum physics so much, is that because of the fact that it's proven that energy is non-local, meaning that, and this is the thing that really irritated Einstein, because he believed that nothing was faster than the speed of light. However, that's not true. It's been proven that electrons are swapping information and jumping, this called jumping in and out of our field of energy with the greater consciousness. This is how we're all kind of, everything's entangled and communicating all the time. In fact, some scientists talk about the fact that the swapping it's so fast. It's not, it's so instant that we can be communicating with all parts of our whole singularity consciousness simultaneously. So this part of being willing to accept that energy is non-local, that we're all in, everything is entangled, and that the feeling frequency is what is creating the events here in the physical world. If those basic premises are, if a person's willing to embrace that and explore that and be open to that possibility, then they'll be able to engage the law of creation with more awareness. And when they take ownership, when things so-called don't go well, then they can take ownership of it and take a look at, without judgment, no judgment, zero, take a look at what was I transmitting? What kind of contraction feeling, fear-based feeling, was I unconsciously transmitting that flavored that event to turn out that way? Because remember, if everything's a singularity and everything's entangled, there is no other person, really. I mean, that illusion of being another individual is just that. It's actually an illusion. And if we're willing to go that step and understand that words spoken from some other person, we are influencing, by how we are feeling and what we're transmitting into the quantum field, what that person says to us, here in the sim world. Taking that level of ownership then empowers us to shift what we're transmitting. But owning what we're transmitting is the first step. It's a big one, but it's necessary to really break free of that limiting beliefs and the limitations of what we create. A lot of this is going on deep in our unconscious, these limitations. And I understand that. I'm on my journey, and I'm constantly looking at and taking ownership. Okay, what am I feeling unconsciously that's holding things back or deflecting or pushing away the goodness? Let's take a look at that. How can I shift my energy? Those kinds of approaches will allow someone, us, to engage the law of creation with more awareness. Because it can change. I mean, on a freaking dime, 9 cents change. We can shift what we're experiencing. It's very fast. So I just wanted to plant that seed today, and it was fun having you listening in, Wendy. And so if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I want to mention two things. One, on my website, the Empowered Whole Being, and you see it scrolling at the bottom of the screen here. On the top menu bar, you'll see Self-Discovery. If you click on that, hover over it, you'll see the Divine Heart Coherence Technique. And this is a free download MP3 file. Some new information has come through about some of the really important aspects of the quantum biological effect of, I love you too, Wendy. And I'm going to be changing up, but it still works right now, but I'm going to be adding another piece of information about the root chakra that is so important. And but it's still there. You can use it now, and then when I shift, change it in the next few, later on this month or beginning of December probably, I'm going to, it'll address and make it even easier to shift your energy from fear-based to joy-based. So that's there, and download it, and just follow the instructions. It's there for your use, so that once you experience what it feels like to not be unconsciously aligned with fear energy, and instead be accessing and engaging in the joy counterclockwise energy, that'll help empower you to make those shifts, to recognize it more easily. And the second thing is that I just want to show my book, Spiritual Transformation Simplified. It's available all the regular places. And again, it's a constant learning process. I'm always asking to be shown what's next so that I can understand, because we don't know what we don't know. And if we're willing and open to keep receiving in new data and let go of what doesn't work, we always win. So so next week I'm going to be having my show, but then the week after I'm on a Spirit Quest journey, and to Racetrack Playa in Death Valley, which is going to be amazing. Been there before. I can't wait to go again. And so I'll be skipping the week the 19th, but then I'll be back. Well, that's Thanksgiving. I don't know. I'll have to figure this out. But I'll be posting about it, to adjust the schedule. I may go to a Friday instead of a Thursday. But at any rate, reach out if you have any questions. If I can be of service, I am here for you in your journey to support it, because I'm walking it. I understand what's going on energetically and on a quantum level as well. And anything I can do to support your process, let me know. So until I see you again, reconnect again, so much joy to you.